The camera?
Yeah, I just for my general. Yeah, I want it centered.
Oh my god!
I can do it if you want.
You are such a bitch.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hi guys.
Yeah, just come a little closer. And,
A little bit closer.
yeah, and then go that way. Beautiful. Perfect.
Right there.
That's
Okay.
good.
Are you happy now?
I'm happy.
Okay, Dan's happy.
Oh,
It's just that light. Yeah, you do have
It's kind of
palish thing going on there.
it's kind of the way you're looking at it. For one, and for two, you are
that light.
Yes,
that light is.
it looks better actually when you're looking at it.
What up, Will?
What's that?
How's it going?
Hi guys.
Welcome everyone to Pints and Pistons with a surprise guest.
Well, Chris is feeling a bit under the weather today, and
Plus
we'd already planned on having Angel here anyway, so now he is our fourth.
That's what I was trying to explain to you, except I was doing voice to text, and he's like, what? And I looked at it, I'm like, that makes no sense, but I just sent it.
Anytime I do voice to text, I look down and it's all screwed up. I'm like, send it.
Yeah.
I got the message and it was like, hey, 4 is not Chris, so 5 is you, but 4 today.
Yeah, that's what it was. And I'm
Oh,
like,
God.
yeah, no, that was horrible.
Oh, this chair is so wide.
I'm trying not to. There you go. Oh,
It goes back. Alrighty.
It's like a monkey fucking a football.
Were you getting into a Hummer?
Actually, a Hummer H1 I can get into very easily.
Sure. Okay.
Way easier than like a.
we're gonna have a whole
size
episode of
F-150.
what cars are easiest for you to get into.
Oh, dang, that same F350 day you tried to get into? I got in. I'm like, I can't reach the
His
pedals.
feet didn't touch the floor or the pedals.
Seriously, I had to seat at his lowest spot. My feet would not touch the floorboard. Yeah.
It was hilarious.
You
Yeah.
see Mike driving F350 Super Duty on top of the steering wheel so he can reach the pedals.
Yeah.
Basically, he would look like a child driving a normal car.
Oh,
That's what it looks
God.
like anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes I do a double take. I'm like, oh, okay, it wasn't a child, it was Mike. We're good.
Fuck you guys.
But anyway, if you guys haven't been here before, this is Pints and Pistons. We talk about cars and we drink beer, so we're pretty much just drunk idiots talking about cars. And sometimes we end up not talking about cars at all.
Yeah, one time we did just do a straight up beer episode because, well, beer.
Yeah, well, when we had
Oh, Chris is here in text form. Hi, Chris.
Hey, we're using your computer.
Yes,
And we
thank
got
you.
your girlfriend here.
Yeah, we're holding her hostage. So I suppose we'll dive into the first beer and then start talking about the stuff that I have no idea that I don't remember whatsoever.
Oh yeah, I didn't plan at all.
No, we know.
I actually think our guest planned more than us. Congratulations, you.
Yeah, I think you did more research than we did.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Good job.
We don't do research.
I'm trying to remember the shit I was mentioning.
It's
Like,
pretty much just one of us will see something on Jalopnik or see something on an argument like, hey, we'll talk about this, and that's as far as we go. We just sort of spitball off stuff.
oh, hello.
Like,
Hello.
Are you
And
drinking or no?
Haley's beer.
There you go. Hold on. We'll blast these two. There you go, mister. Okay, this one I need to slide over.
Thank you.
Did not plan this one first. Alright, hold on. We got one glass. Nope. Brian, just this one?
Oh,
TV
sorry.
glass is always. I give you a
This is
TV
a
glass.
TV glass.
Thank you.
Uno. Pizzeria, though.
Okay, there's stuff in the bottom of these.
I like stuff in it.
There's stuff in the bottom.
I
of
like
these.
stuff in it.
So I have this feeling this is going to be like our.
It's already getting excited.
I think this is going to be like the Funky Buddha. So it's going to be a partial pour and then a swirl and a partial pour.
Hey, you can get a cash refund now.
Not in Florida.
I know.
Yeah, you're going to want to have pour in the swirlies.
What?
Pour about half it and swirl it.
There's stuff in the bottom of it.
There's chunks of like wheat and yeast and
It's an unfiltered.
yes.
Shit that I had no idea about until
Look
started
at
doing
that
the show.
color.
Look at that head.
I'll pour the rest. There you go.
Speaking
And
of
clean-
head, we're going to
clean your
Steel
cup.
Panther tomorrow.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
It smells like a German.
Yeah, so,
It smells German.
okay, so the first one we have up, well, we decided it's about the middle of October.
Yeah,
It's
look,
not quite
that's
Halloween,
really
so we're doing
cloudy.
some Octoberfesting of sorts. And the first one we have up, you want to show them the bottle?
Jesus Christ, the one that's like furthest fucking away from everything.
Listen to him, he's so angry. Put him on the end. I like Brian next to me anyway. Hi, Brian.
Hey,
How you doing,
Hey,
Dan?
are
I'm
you
not
gonna
too
even
bad.
fucking look at the thing to tell me to come in?
Oh,
tilt the bottle down a little bit.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
Now
then
you
you
can
can go in. Yeah, because the light. There you go.
There you go. This is Krombacher Weizen. Naturally cloudy,
That's it.
natural mint trouble.
It has ingredients on it.
It does have ingredients.
Yep.
Malt, barley, hops, all that stuff in it. Typical beer stuff.
Oh, yep. Beer. It's a beer.
This is a German Weizen, and this is imported from Germany because German Oktoberfest.
I got your arms. There you go.
It's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
This is
Oh, yeah.
actually this is more.
What is a Wiesen? What's a Wiesen?
Hefeweizen.
Is it Hefeweizen?
Yeah,
Oh
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
that,
I can
like
see-
that
I can
Miami
taste it
Lights
now.
one that we
Yeah,
tried.
Yeah.
I get the blast of weed. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is almost more summer than.
It is a little more summer than it is Octobery. It almost tastes like that. What's that leaf summer shandy? Leaf.
The Klugenfegers or
Yeah, yeah.
The summer shandy. It's almost like that. It's got that like the wheat twang to it on the
Yeah.
end, but in the middle, it's all barley and hops. It's like straight up barley.
Yeah, this one
Well,
doesn't. This one doesn't have like the banana of the of the Funky Buddha, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have the cloves of the Wakuli Hefeweizen.
Pretty damn good though. I
I
like
like
it.
this.
Angels over there going, yes, beer tastes
Yes,
like beer.
it's beer.
It is beer.
It's like
Okay,
This beer is made of beer.
yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say it's like that.
This is
Yes.
Hefeweizen, and this is a German wheat beer, which means
Oh,
that it
it's good.
has 50% or more of wheat as its grain than barley or rice or anything else.
It makes you fat.
It's not.
It's got it's got carbs.
I don't know about that. I'm watching my car.
Yeah. We're only drinking like one or
It's
two
our
of these
cheat.
at a
It's
time.
our cheat night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like we're slamming Coors Light, with 12 pack.
Hey, no. Natty Light, come on. I mean, I love my Coors Light, but paydays.
That's
Ain't
true.
payday yet.
That's true.
So
Get my 24 pack for $12.
I guess we should talk about cars.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian, open up with strikes.
Huh?
Open up with a strike.
Oh
about
yeah,
That's
fucking strikes.
UAW versus
oh
GM.
yeah. UAW versus GM is screwing up. Speaking of October,
Everything.
Truck
Uh,
month.
truck months. Trucktoberfest is being screwed at the dealerships because of the strike. They're not building trucks.
I was gonna say they're not making any right now. Like I heard it's getting to the point where like people are going to dealerships and needing warranty repairs done. They're like,
And they can't
so we
even get
kind of
parts.
can't get you parts because there's no
Yeah.
one making the parts because that
Yeah.
guy's on strike.
And that's the other part that people aren't realizing. That the cars aren't getting made is the fact that you can't even get new parts that are being made. So
And if I'm not mistaken, there's 6 plants deep shut down.
I believe
It's
6 plants.
6
shut down?
plants shut down. There's 4 in Canada and Mexico and 2 here that are shut down completely.
all
and
because
this is
of
also going to affect the
The Corvette's not coming out
Corvette,
now.
yeah.
The 2024
Yes.
Corvette's
the
getting
X being
delayed.
delayed because of this.
And they're losing $180 million a day.
So much for the super killer.
It might not come out at this rate.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it kind of has to.
the UAW union official fucking quit 2 days ago.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes.
That says something. That says something.
Yeah, I mean, it's in order to be a super killer, it kind of has to be
A vehicle.
Made.
Yeah.
more than vaporware.
Seriously. So I'm really interested to see what happens with GM because they're going to need help very soon or stop.
Yeah.
Who's going to swoop in and try to buy them? Or are they going to fucking stand firm? Are they going to bail out? Like, I'm really curious.
What's
to
going
see
to
what
happen
they
is
do.
about the same thing that always happens in UAW negotiations. Eventually, they'll both kind of meet somewhere in the middle, and both sides will complain about it. Or both sides will complain about it, but other people from both sides will say, yeah, this is a good deal. And other people will still complain about it.
Hopefully, because it's hurting them bad.
Yeah,
The weather is
out.
beautiful. Oh,
I have blown
you're sucking all my nasty smell out.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Anyways, so yes, GM sucks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if
That's
you
about
guys
what-
want
that's
your
about
Corvette
what
to come out and actually do everything you say it's going to do and be as cool as we think it's going to be, you
Like a
kind of got to
Super.
get
I wonder how many people put deposits on them.
It's a Corvette. A
2020
lot.
production was already damn near sold out before the strike was announced. It was all spoken for between dealer orders and people
All
putting
you guys
deposits
who
on cars.
reserve those launch editions, just to let you know.
There's a lot of people wearing New Balance shoes and white socks that are getting very pissed off.
Those khakis.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember when they actually unveiled it. Yeah, we are finally going to do a mid-engine Corvette after like 6 or 7 different mid-engine prototypes over the years since its introduction. There was actually an article in the Wall Street Journal about baby. They were interviewing baby
There was. I saw that.
who were
Yeah, no,
massively
actually in the Wall Street
pissed
Journal.
off that the car was going mid-engine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How dare you use modern technology and make a cool car?
Followed by a healthy dose of shaking fist at the clouds and yelling it to get off their lawn.
Oh, yeah. It's hysterical. You go to a car show now and like go up to anybody with like older guy with the vet. How about that C8? Heated discussion. Instant.
So if because boomers are like the Corvettes, like bread and butter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So then, since they don't like the 2020, would that mean that when the mid-engine Corvette comes out, when it does come out, would that raise or lower C7 prices?
C7 prices are going to go up.
C7s
C7s
are going to go up. C6s are going to go down. That's my opinion. And C6 is already starting to go down because I've been looking at getting a C6.
My buddy has two.
And you can get one like
You can get a base model for like 25, 30.
Oh, I was looking at a 12 2LT 6-speed manual with 80,000 miles on it for $11,500.
Salvage title?
Huh?
No.
Salvage title?
No.
No, clean title. C6,
Really?
2LT, 2012.
The thing with Corvettes is anytime you see a Corvette that's advertised as low miles, garage kept, that describes like 90% of them.
Yeah, you can get. And I was looking at another one today actually.
I think C7s might spike initially.
Yeah.
But then they're going to go down.
I was looking at a orange C6, like the one that the color I want, that orange color that came in, and they only wanted a 12.5, and it was already lowered, and it had these sweet Koenig wheels on it, and a short shifter and a tune on it, and it was manual and all that, and they only wanted like 11.5 for it. I really want one, but I don't know. I want a lot of cars.
So,
Yes.
I want a 911 too, and I'm really torn between a 911 and a C6.
Well, why don't you finish the fucking FC that you got in the garage that you've had for 2 fucking years?
I mean, you finally have a motor for it.
What you do is,
You could just invest time in that.
if you put the full rotor in it, it will be like the mid-engine Corvette prototype that came out, the quad vet, the one that had the full rotor in the
Oh, the
back.
Aerovet.
The Aerovet, that's what it's called.
78 Aerovet.
Yep. I thought it was funny too when they revealed the Corvette. I was wondering, like, are they just gonna troll everyone and just be
By the
like
way,
rotary,
it's a rotary.
right? They said mid-engine. I was like, no fucking way, they're gonna have rotary in an Earth Day.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dom actually tried it.
They did that C5.
That is one of my favorite things ever, though. Looking at that. I'm like,
Well, it's like my buddy's gonna he started doing the shit with that Camaro. He's gonna have that 5th gen Camaro shell, and I want to put a rotary in it. I told him we should do it. He was like, "Oh hell yeah, let's put a fucking rotary in it."
Why not?
That'd be fucking awesome.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm still on Bear Swap the World.
Oh yeah, that dude, that FC, that is awesome.
Yeah, the
They're swapping
only
an FC.
acceptable piston swap into a RX-7.
And that's like the only 2nd or 3rd Barra in the U.S., isn't it?
There was a guy in Gainesville that had about a half a dozen of them. They were NA motors, they were twin cams, they were NAs, and he didn't have a factory engine or transmission. So you're pretty much on your own to find all that.
I wonder how difficult that's going to be, I should say, for that guy to get set up in that FC.
Haltech makes a pro plug for the Falcons.
Yeah.
There you go.
And obviously Haltech makes Benny and the other that just they built the Fox Body Mustang for drag week.
That I absolutely
yeah. I like that that Barra swapped it's over in Australia. It's a 67, I think, Mustang with a Barra in it.
Oh yeah.
It's a drag car. It's a resto mod, but it runs like low 10s and it's got a Barra in it.
Anything with the Barra is just that.
The Aussie 2JZ,
Yes.
as they call it.
Yeah, but we get a Taurus, they get a Falcon and a Ute. We get a Taurus.
And they get a motor that does. Yeah.
Fuck you, Ford.
Yeah.
They got a motor that can run 1,000
Thanks,
horsepower
guys.
on a stock bottom end.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks,
you
Ford.
got to change the gears. Oil pump gears.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
It did for a second.
But anyways, so what's the next topic? What's it? Oh, hold on. Chat. What's the chat at?
People are talking about it.
Chris says you always look like a child driving a car.
Of course.
Midlife crisis
Thanks,
mobile.
Chris.
That's a Corvette. Rotary swap the world. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
Rotary swap, rotary cars. Like, I hate.
I know so many people are so pissed off
Yeah,
when I'm
rotary
putting a
swap-
rotary in my
Rotary swap the
in my
world.
RX-7. Like, God forbid,
Will
I
just
put
wants
the
to fix his
fucking rotor
gram.
that belongs
Yeah.
in it. And the thing is, too, is rotaries are going to get to the point where nobody knows what the fuck they are, and only the cool people, not the the cool kids, only the people who are actual car nerds are going to know what rotaries are and still use them.
And half the car nerds will hate him, and half the car nerds will love him.
It's kind of like progressive death metal. See, you're outside normal death metal. You get the progressiveness in it, so you fully have to do, algebra to understand half the shit. It's cool, but unless you're into that shit,
People fear them too
Yeah.
much.
13B swap a 12A car just to swap a rotary. I considered it when I had mine.
I'm putting a newer 13V in mine that doesn't belong in it, so I'm technically rotary swapping a rotary.
if that motor goes, I'd love to put a rotary in the 86.
Well, that'd be awesome.
It's FC-ish.
It is.
It's FC-ish.
Hey, it's already a Pocket 8.6. I
It
deliver.
is.
I deliver
he's
Mountain
part of,
Dew
he's part of
down
the
to Zello
Apopka
every
Speed
day.
Stars. The
It's
Apopka
It's
86.
panda colored. I mean, it's a panda. It's almost there.
I was gonna say it has Eurobeat blasting all the time out of it. Zombie hyperdrive constantly.
Yes.
That thing. And it smells like an old car, so.
Yeah.
Because it is an old car.
But the fog lights work.
Yeah, probably like work.
Fog lights
back
do
together.
work.
It
Yeah,
wasn't-
eventually I'll get that.
It wasn't one of the topics, but I really hope that Mazda comes out with their hybrid thing.
Oh, yeah, they got
Tokyo.
spotted on the Nürburgring again.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
RX-8?
week, the same RX-8 with the camo tape front bumper, Mazda was spotted out there again last week with it.
Right, and then the Tokyo Auto Show is on the 25th, I think?
I
Or the
believe so.
21st?
It's this month. It's at the end
So
of
I
this month.
also saw a thing in China
Yes.
that was
The Mazda from China tweeted "Oh, you'll see a surprise on some date." Or
yeah, and then
it
when
was
they actually translated the
Yeah.
character underneath there, it's something
and it
about
was
possible.
Happy Triangle or something
Yeah,
super Chinese, broken
Oh,
English.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking that really. I mean, because those engines, unless they're just wound out at peak all the time, revving, they're inefficient as hell. They generate a lot of heat. So, really, the only practical
Hybrid.
application with today's kind of environmental regulations and emissions and everything else would be a small to use to charge a hybrid system.
Yeah.
Supposedly, they filed a patent for a single rotor,
I did see
the
that.
one that sits perpendicular.
Yes, it's on
Yeah.
its side.
parallel. Yeah, so it's on its side, and then that would be like a hybrid generator. It would
Yeah.
always would stay at one constant speed, and then supposedly they made it that way so it'd be easier to service.
And also, if it's running at one constant speed, that's where it's efficient at. That's
Well,
where
if
that
they
design
could
is
do
efficient.
something like the BMW i3, or I think even was that
I8.
or i8,
Yeah.
was that a Fisker? I think has the
It's car combo?
yeah, I think the Fisker. That's a hybrid,
Yeah.
not hybrid kind of car too, like a sports car.
It's where the motor isn't connected to the actual wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool if they
Well,
did some kind of
that's like
rotary
the-
hybrid
that's like
sports
the-
car.
well, that's like the Chevy Volt.
Except this would be, I
Yeah,
think
the
it should be
ICE and the
sport
Chevy.
oriented, though.
Well, the ICE and the Chevy Volt's not connected to the drive wheels. It's there to.
It's just there to
No,
power.
but if
the-
they make it something like I'm saying, like that BMW i8, it could actually be a pretty good car.
Yeah.
That could have potential to be sporty and handle and be efficient and still get the
Then there's
job.
also the thing where Mazda hasn't made a hybrid yet because they're
Well, they got that. What is it? The Sky Active.
The Sky Active.
Those motors do really well when it comes to terms of fuel economy and everything. They do it extremely well.
Yeah.
But you also have to look at Mazda in the context of the Japanese automakers. They're
Well, they're calming
way
down,
small-
too.
but they're also way smaller
Yeah.
and don't have the same kind of budgets to work with as
Yeah.
Nissan and Toyota. Nissan, speaking of,
Oh yeah, with the Infinity.
Oh my god.
Infinity is having its ass handed to it all over the world. They pretty much give up on Europe. I mean,
They
Nissan.
just had a
Nissan
new CEO last week too.
yeah, they just got a new CEO.
Because they ended up with the whole fraud thing.
Yeah, well,
We
Carlos,
don't talk about that though.
Carlos Ghosn with his whole mess, and then the new guy with his whole mess, and now they've got new guy number 3.
Why don't they just hire DeLorean?
He's dead.
Well, yeah, but just go with that. Get somebody cooped out of their mind and just there you go.
In the Kia world, we're getting
They need Lee Iacocca.
we're getting teased
Exactly.
that that Telluride SUV they came out with.
Yeah,
We're teasing a truck variant of that for next year.
I've heard about that.
And
I would actually be pretty interested in that.
well, what we have to do is the way I look at it and the way I've seen it and the pattern and everything, we go in rotation. Hyundai gets a new one, then we get a new one. So Hyundai will get something new first. I don't know if you've seen the Hyundai Palisade they have. It's Hyundai's version of that Telluride.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's absolutely fucking ugly.
Oh yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I'd rather have the Telluride.
If you could take the new Camaro SS front end and stretch it upwards
So it's a Silverado.
Yeah.
with a Hyundai attached to it.
That's what
With
you
a
want.
bit of you throw a little bit of
all
new
the
BMW.
manliness of the Silverado.
Well, it's like BMW with the new fronts that are fucking
Giant.
yeah.
Giant.
It's kind of like that. It's just extra.
Yeah, that's like their M8 coupe. It's like an S550 Mustang with a giant weird BMW nose on it.
Yep.
From the side profile, when I see it, I was like, hey, nice Mustang, bro.
Mhm. But yeah, no, that the Telluride. I mean, I know we talked about it before. That is a very, very good SUV.
Very
It
nice.
looks nice.
It looks nice. The interior looks nice.
I've only
all
ever
the-
sat in one, and like I drove it like just like in a parking lot. It was a customer's car, but to me on the inside, it was pretty much like every other Kia,
Yeah.
every other like new Kia. So
Yeah,
it's
they
not-
seem
so
to
it's
kind
not
of
like
follow
you're
the
getting-
same suit.
Yeah, they're not.
Like the gauges tend to be the same, and like
Yeah.
the layout, the interface is usually pretty similar with all of them.
But I mean,
Pretty
that's
nice though.
Well, I mean, you've got
it's where the
same,
market's going.
same
Yeah.
designers and same.
Well, they can make it so cheap because they use the minivan chassis
Yeah.
for it too. So, and that Stinger GTS that it got in there, that's gone. Some guy got it. I saw him
The
peeling.
orange one, right?
Yeah, he peeled out of the dealership with it.
As one does.
Good, and I was very happy about that. And he said drift mode works very well.
As the warranty goes out the window.
Undrelay.
Did get one today at the undisclosed, unnamed place of work I'm at. Please do your fucking oil changes. Come on.
Oh my god!
Wait a minute, was this the just rolled in shop worthy?
Okay, so it was today, towards the end of the day. Car come in the shop, and all you hear is the as it pulls in, and it stops. And the customer brought it in for an oil change because they didn't know they had to get their oil changed. They were getting their first oil change they've ever had,
How many miles?
30.
Oh.
And yeah, the motor wasn't.
Ooh,
Yeah.
almost wish we had a camera just to see her reaction.
Yeah, and
What?
the customer did not understand why Kia would not, or sorry, yeah, Kia, whatever. Anyway, they were very upset that it wasn't covered under warranty. Their own neglect.
See, what they should have bought is an early 2000s BMW, which tells you only have to change the oil every 15,000 miles, and the automatic transmission fluid is lifetime.
Oh shit!
Is what the manual tells you.
I need one of those.
Yeah,
Any
but as long
tech
as-
will tell you, for the love of God, please change your oil every 5,000 miles.
Yeah, but that's the kind of car you buy from CarMax and get their warranty on.
Oh yeah.
Or you just do what I do. Going on 2 years now. Still haven't had an oil change.
Yeah, but it's only got like 1,500 miles.
No,
If
it's
that.
gone
I changed mine off.
200 miles.
Exactly.
I changed mine off time because I
But-
usually never do the mileage.
But the
within 3
thing
months.
is even when I was daily driving this, I would never actually get an oil change. It was
Replace what
every
leaked out.
month,
Just replace what leaked
Court.
out.
court.
You're always keeping a fresh
Hey,
oil
fresh
cycle. and
oil.
Just change your
Good.
oil filter
how it
every
is.
like.
Exactly.
Between my girlfriend's RX-7, her Miata, my little brother's Miata, and my BMW, we don't have to change oil that much because every car burns oil so much.
Not even burns.
We
You
just
see
need
the
to fresh
ground
oil
right here?
every time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's where some of that oil goes. It's right there.
Yeah.
That's fresh.
It's wet.
Ish.
I mean, like it's new oil.
Yeah. Ish.
That oil only has about 27 burn rates on it. So.
Cold start burnouts.
Oh yeah,
Old
fuck
start
it.
burn.
Old start
You do
burnouts.
not let that son of a bitch warm up. It's you start it, let it idle down, and just fucking go for it.
We also got one right now that has the rod hanging out of the oil pan.
That's probably gonna be the same.
I hope not. That'd be bad.
I just want video of it. Or to be probably be in the car.
We on my way to my
eruption.
ship box as I'm about to send a rod to outer space. Let's go.
Still surprised I haven't sent a rod in the outer space in the truck yet.
Yeah. You sent a fountain of gas to space.
Yeah, that I did.
Yeah, you do have a fuel geyser going on.
Yeah, I gotta fix that.
Yeah.
We're not shooting big fireballs out of the carburetor anymore though.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that is not
That's
the
why we don't
correct.
let Brian
that is-
stand there.
That's not the correct direction for fireballs to go. It's
Yeah.
supposed to go out the back end, not the carburetor. Yeah. That almost melted his face, so it was
Yeah,
pretty
it dried.
bad. Yeah.
Oh,
Again.
Yeah.
Again,
We're like, great, you're throwing another fireball out of burn.
I
You're
wasn't
a
trying
fucking
to.
asshole,
I wasn't
okay?
trying to.
Well,
That was a
I mean,
mistake.
Well, look what Brittany did. They could take the burn victim and get him on top of the deep fryer.
Yeah, she doesn't have deep fry shit.
but doesn't she have like the antibodies to fight burn now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it
No,
doesn't quite
no.
work that way.
Does it work that way?
Quite
But
work
if
that
you
way.
want something lit on fire, he is the person that you use to light stuff. He's the expert.
Wait, well,
Lighter
Do it.
fluid. Lighter fluid. Is
do we
it's
hold
the
on,
sacred
do
elixir.
we
of
light
people.
him on fire, then use him to start the fire? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I
You
guess
can.
I'm kind of like the little girl from Firestarter. I just
Oh, perfect.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got his little magic finger and go like that, and woof, fire starts.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a CRX. He looks at them, fire
Yeah.
instantly.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I see a CRX hasn't got fire. It's defective. Not working right.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of other side tangent, I saw another blue and silver one.
No shit. Where was this at?
Fuck, I think it was on Craigslist down in Miami.
Huh.
It was beat to shit though,
But
but
it wasn't that 3,500
No,
mile example that Dennis
no.
Collins had.
no, it was beat to shit. But you know what? I saw it and I'm like, God, if I won the lottery right now, I'd buy this and just show it up
So
at
bouncing
Brian's house.
around
Like,
on
here you go.
bouncing around on YouTube, I was watching Dennis Collins Coffee Walk, the Black Mountain Jeep guy, and as he's going and camera guy's following him through the shop, and he goes over to look at this Jeep, and I see the very front end of a first gen CRX, and it's blue, and I was like, okay. So he goes off and does all things about the Jeeps, and then he's like, and then we found this, and he profiles this car. It was a 1986 CRX HE, a high efficiency model, pretty much identical to the car I had, 3,500 miles on it. And then like 3 weeks later, it was on Bring a Trail, and it sold for like 6,500 or something
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
But it wasn't on fire. So
Yeah, and then there was the other one that 15,000 mile one that was down in somewhere down in South Florida.
was that the white one
No, the other blue and silver.
No, it was the other blue one.
with
It was
the
on Bring a
red?
trailer.
The red.
Yeah, it had the
pin.
red.
Oh,
red
yeah, it was,
stripe
it was the same. Yeah.
for dirt cheap.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that one went for like 3,000 or 4,000. Went for even cheaper.
yeah, I think it was like 4,500 bucks
Yeah.
or something like that.
It's like holy fuck! Like, are you kidding me?
Cool cars.
Man,
Were really neat.
What else do we have on our?
Well, yeah. What else was topics?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Australia's getting a new Mustang.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, they're getting a 700 horsepower, some R Sport or R something, and because Ford doesn't build cars in Australia anymore, it's actually going to like a partner shop where it gets fitted out with a whole bunch of Roush and Ford racing goodies.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that still makes me sad
You say they brought.
because they don't make Australian Fords anymore.
Or
So,
Yeah.
Holdens.
They
Holdens
don't make
are-
Holdens anymore.
I know,
Yeah.
but
Did they
that
make anything in Australia?
No.
I thought like every factory shut down.
pretty
All
much-
the GM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
No,
GM and
Ford.
Ford left.
yeah, but there's
Yeah.
no more Falcons, no
Yeah.
more Barra cars, so pretty much Ford's Australian cars are all basically European
Yeah.
imports.
Basically, what we get.
World cars, like similar to what we get.
Yeah.
which sucks.
And Holdens are all rebadged.
Yeah, Chevys.
There's
now.
there's some Chevys, there's some Opals, Vauxhalls, and probably some Japanese and Korean cars are rebadged as Holdens.
Did you see that? I think it's over in the Middle East. They've re-released the Dodge Neon.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things.
And
No, I
Hold on,
didn't.
the
But
20
now, did they do like what they did on the Eclipse and all that shit, where they just put it
The
into
neon cross tool.
No,
like I can full on see
it's
that.
it's a legit four-door
Hold on. I got
compact car.
Okay.
Yeah, look up like a 2019 or 2020 Dodge Neon. It's a very plain.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a neon. Like
Oh
it's,
my god.
Yeah, it's just a plain old.
So it
Four-door?
looks, yeah, it just looks like
It's
if
like
Neon came out in 2020.
Yeah, just
It's
a
like a
plain
model.
Dodge.
It's like a
A dart?
like a dart.
Yeah, kind of like a dart.
But less
Honestly,
darty.
This
It looks.
better than.
Oh,
I would
yeah,
have this
it
over
does.
It
that.
does. I do like it better.
Well,
I just,
you want to see something crazy? You know, Nissan still actually uses the Datsun brand.
Yeah.
Well, Nissan up until like last year or the year before, I forgot what the name of the car was, but it was basically a brand new 1992 Sentra.
Yeah, no, they had
And
it.
it got a 0-star rating on the NCAP tests. And the crash test footage of the thing is disturbing, to say the least.
it sounds about right for India.
I'd
Yeah.
rather just get hit in the head with a baseball bat standing still. Just hit me straight in the head.
I'd rather set my hair on fire and split it out with a sledgehammer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What was another one? I'm trying to think.
I actually like that neon though. Like,
Yeah, it's not bad.
everybody,
It's like-
seriously, look it up.
I kind of
It does
hope
look
that
better
they.
than a dart.
Yeah, it does.
Actually looks good.
Maybe they won't stay.
It's almost like a dart with a little bit of the 200 front end.
That's what I was going
Yes,
for. The
that's
Chrysler
what it
200. That's what I was trying to think of. Well, hopefully it won't be, years from now and they'll have brand new 2019s on the showroom floor still.
Well, no, they'll just keep building them the same way.
Yeah.
It'll be 2025, but it'll be a 2019.
I mean, like with the dart, like
Yeah, that's the thing. Like up until I think what was that? Almost like 6-7 months ago, there was still brand new 2016 darts on.
brand new dart turbos,
There was
2016s on the lot.
8 dealerships that still had
Yep, and they were selling them for like $7 or $8 grand for a brand new car.
0
They
miles.
couldn't sell them. They're just terrible, god awful little.
And it wasn't even like they were complete base models. Like they were actually.
No, there was like the turbo, the 1.4
Yeah.
Fiat motor, the turbos on them.
Yep.
Oh, terrible. Poor cars. Poor cars.
I mean, even crappy cars deserve to be driven.
Yeah.
At the least, at the very least,
I mean, you think about it. You got a 3-year-old car that
Yeah.
hasn't been driven.
at all.
That's
I've never driven a dart. I can't attest if
I
it's shit or
don't
not.
know.
Maybe they're
Although I
that
can't
shit.
either, but I mean, you know what happens to just about any other car when it sits for 3 years without being driven.
Turns into October.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Now, a brand new car's it's got the same shit in it. Left the factory with oil. It's been sitting there with a minimal amount of gas in the tank, which means there's a whole bunch of condensation in
Oh
there.
fuck yeah!
So you got a brand new car where the inside of the tank's probably rusty.
It's probably had a couple batteries put in it already.
Yeah.
Probably, and warranty's going to be out on it too.
Flat spot
No,
tires.
because the warranties go into effect on their in-service date, not their build date.
Really?
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
So then it ends up being not that bad.
Okay.
No, yeah,
well,
really. If I was to get a brand new Dart Turbo, and if it was $7 grand, I'd do it.
I mean,
But
perfect
then,
example of that is my car. My car had a build date of November 2007, but its in-service date was September 2008. That's when the warranty period began.
Interesting.
So yeah, warranties go on the in-service date, basically when they're sold, not when they're built.
But yeah, no, you have to do all the tires and that. The brake, depending on the brakes, it could be seized on for this.
Yeah, just sitting.
Mm-hmm.
I can see a customer bringing the car in for brakes, making all kinds of weird noises just because of calipers hanging up. Or,
Yeah, just the probably not being test driven. The rotors are all rusty and shit.
Well, you
Same
just
spot
gotta
a lot.
think of it. Well,
Not
the
wet
tires.
and shit.
The tires.
Oh, yeah,
flat
dry.
spot, yeah.
and
Flat
that's
spot,
why
dry
it's
spot.
natty.
Yeah.
That's big
And
road.
hell, probably to paint the way the sun, where it is with like sun and all that.
It's getting more and more
It's
rusty.
gonna be.
Go.
It's gonna have etched water. It's gonna have water etchings like crazy, and
At
It's
that
gonna be like
point,
200 grand when you come up to your brand new car. Like,
is it still worth it? Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
still worth it at that point?
I mean, as someone who's done paint correction and does detailing from time to time, I would almost kind of want to bring one of those cars into my garage
Just
just to
see
see
what
what
you
it would
do, yeah.
take to make it look.
Like it should.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's an interesting. Like you see the price, like oh well, that's and then you got to weigh
Really
in
think
every
about
single
it.
factor on that. You still think, hey, it's a new car. It's got 20 miles on it, but it's a 3-year-old new car that hasn't moved.
Right.
Yeah, that 20 miles has been 2 test drives and been shuffled across the dealership lot,
Yes.
Yeah.
which means it hasn't been getting warm. It's just been fired up, moved 20 feet, and shut off.
and if they're direct injection, that's a lot of carbon
Oh,
just
my God.
tooting around.
It really is. That's one downfall of direct injection is the excessive carbon buildup that
Yeah.
motors create.
Well, yeah, because they don't have any fuel washing the backs of the valves down.
No. And it's just all the fuel pressure all the time.
It's like when I heard the shit out of the car the other day when Cody was over. Man, it looked like a fucking diesel truck popped
Oh yeah, man! When I get on it,
You're
like,
just like, holy shit!
people
Like,
are
what?
behind me like that thing's black smokes a lot.
oh yeah. Well, no, I let it warm up and then I was like, yeah, listen to this off.
Well,
Oh, I just straight on that thing. I will say, 7300 bounces off the red one, pretty nice. And at that point, it pops and bangs pretty good.
mine does pop and bang pretty good around there.
Well,
as
yeah.
well.
Well, you and your no
I was
okay.
popping all. I have an exhaust. I have a full exhaust.
Well, there's pipes there.
There's pipes and there's mufflers. Thank you.
Yeah, but
Sorry, not plural. My bad. Thank you for catching that.
You don't have the muffler and resonator that I have, which are like the length of
I have Uno muffler and Uno catalytic converter. That's about that big.
That's what I got. Mine's
We're
like
in Florida. You don't have to light it though.
Oh, it really is.
No, he's got
Well,
like,
still
he's got
a
the same one.
I have a $680
US
down
still
pay.
apply.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Catalytic converter.
catalytic
Yeah.
converter.
Which is why I was,
My
I
car
saw
will
a
not
midnight
pass
purple
emissions test.
R33 GTR cars and copy of Cal a couple of years ago before the plates on it. Illegal as hell.
I know that guy.
Yeah, because I flat up asked the guy, I'm like,
Well, hell, we've also saw the nerd there, the R34 nerd.
those
Not the nerd, the Tommy Kiera.
those
And that was because it was rare on the music.
yeah,
right?
that car is
Music.
legal. That has its own little set of rules to go with it. But no,
I wanted to talk to you about that. I was really interested. I saw on Facebook the other day. Thank you. I saw on
one's got
Facebook the other day there was a Mazda 323 Lantis for sale with an apparent clean Florida title. The 97.
okay, it's Florida. We can put a license plate on a shopping cart in the state,
And yeah, it's like
and
kind
I'm totally okay with that. But like the guy with the R33, because I asked him, I'm like, that's not 25 years old. How exactly are you? Midnight purple R33 GTR on Florida plates. And the guy said, he's like, well,
State.
well, no.
Oh.
Okay. What the guy said was, well, when I bought it, they said that if you disable the HICUS and if you disable this and that, then it becomes legal, which means that his importer seller told him this shit. And what he doesn't understand is while the state of Florida has zero fucks to give about what they put a license plate on, the federal government, if they see that car, it will become the star of a YouTube video
Getting
of it
crushed.
being crushed and torn apart in a junkyard.
Like that. What was that? That was a red R33.
That was a red R33 that was on YouTube. A guy in Ohio bought an R33 from an importer here in Florida, and he bought this knowing that it was illegal and
Right.
knowing what could happen to it.
It smells really good.
I can't place that. But I like it. He knowing it was illegal and knowing what could happen. So he bought it in Florida from an importer seller here, of course. Drove it back to Ohio, put it through Ohio's out-of-car state vehicle inspection, your out-of-state vehicle inspection for cars coming from other states. It passed with an 11-digit Japanese VIN. He didn't try to do VIN swapping or anything like that. He titled it, registered it, and insured it with State Farm, I believe it was, in Ohio on an 11-digit VIN that wasn't 25 years old, and drove it around for like a year and a half. Got into a fender bender with somebody, and the other person's insurance adjuster twigged on the 11-digit VIN and not 25 years old. He notified ICE or customs enforcement, and because the guy didn't change the VINs or try to register as a 240 or do any of that hanky shit, they basically just seized the car. They couldn't charge him with any crime other than, well, you have an illegal car and we're seizing it. And there is a video on YouTube of a red R33 getting ripped apart and crushed at a junkyard with a beautiful set of Volk TE27s.
I mean, it was pretty much like one of the big forklifts.
Yeah, and then the crusher thing,
Yeah.
and it just
Yeah.
hit me right in the feels.
I cried.
All right, we got the one that I brought now, which is Franz Kanner Weissbier.
It's got a white guy on it.
Premium Vice Beer.
Really? Yeah. There's a white guy on it.
It looks like he's like a little
That's wild.
priesty guy.
It's a
It looks like a monk.
He's a
I
monk.
would have guessed by the name.
It's a drunken monk. Hey, it's from Munchen. Munich.
From
Munchen?
1363.
I can't read.
I
I
all right,
graduated from Citrus.
this has got some junk in it. So let's
That might be junk left over from the first beer.
it could be too.
Long distance.
It caught it in my leg.
Long distance. That's
Right.
alcohol abuse.
Now it just looks like you pissed yourself.
Just about as good as the last one with more bite to it. A lot more bite.
Oh, yeah. Killing.
As not a beer guy, I like the more bite.
I do
More
too.
than
You like this one better?
I think I like this one.
I think I like that one better too, actually. It's
They're
more
both good.
more of a it's got more across the palate.
Yeah.
This to me is more like the Wakula Heat Bison.
Yeah.
It is. It is not like the
The
Wakula.
Gainesville one that we tried.
Now, what I wanted to bring up
I
in
like
this,
this. This would be
importing
welcome in
thing.
my fridge.
which is was came to be a very interesting process. Trying to think, about 5 or 6 years ago, longer than that maybe. My buddy found Audi A4 Quattro on Craigslist for like $1,200, $1,300 maybe. And the guy said it had like a bigger turbo on it, shit, whatever. But the guy claimed that it was imported. It was a German one, and he even had the pictures of the dash and it was kilometers, but anybody could swap that. So we went and looked at the car and shit, picked it up. My buddy ended up paying like $1,000 for it. And we're driving it back, and as we're looking at more and more shit in the car, it's looking more and more like it is, in fact, the German one, but this thing's like a 2003.
Okay, you can pretty much put anything into a container and bring it into the country. Not every container is going to get searched. And there is a provision that if it's a car that's available here, that's also available in Europe or Japan or whatever, and well, not so much Japan because it's right-hand, left-hand drive, but like a European car, which are all left-hand drive like us, if it's something like
similar enough.
something like similar enough, like a lot of these
Yeah.
cars, they'll use the same body structure. The ECUs might be a little bit different. Those, you can actually federalize one.
Yeah, because
It's not as difficult to federalize.
It even had one of those off VIN numbers, and he was able to take the title, and nobody questioned him or anything. He said his insurance is what he had a hard time with. Oh, excuse me. But anyway, yeah, because I guess
the insurance twigged on the non-17 digit.
yeah, and he was having problems with that, and they ended up having to do some kind of special insurance on it and shit. So, but yeah, it ended up being a legit one that was actually imported from Spain.
People still legally import some gray market cars. Most of what you have to do to them is make them conform to all U.S. DOT regs for that particular model year. But they're actually pretty stringent about that. They want like crash test data and all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like
Which
with
is-
Motorex cards. That's
which
why they
is-
have
Yeah, like,
that.
yeah.
Which is what Motorex had done initially, was they had hired an engineering firm to do crash testing to figure out what they had to do to 33s and 34s
to make them legal,
Yeah.
so that they could federalize them.
Yeah.
Where
That's where they
Motorex,
got the
Oh,
full
hold on 1 second. Will, the second beer is Franziskaner Weissbier.
Can you type it on there for him?
Oh, yeah. Why don't I do that? That's a really
Yeah, that'd be
actually
nice.
very good idea. I don't think of these.
Yes,
We need to keep you around more often.
oh, look at the new guy rubbing brain cells together.
That's why I'm this special.
Yes. But no, this is
actually doing research,
This
knowing
is-
how to type shit. Like,
this is actually a really good beer. I
you
like
want to be
this.
hired?
I do too.
Yeah, I like this. This
That
is
is
a good
pretty
one.
good. But
Well, where Motorex went south is they did less and less on each group of cars.
use my words.
You know, they did less and less on each
I typed
group
it.
of cars. So the last handful of cars that Motorex did out, they didn't do anything to them other than fill out the paperwork and put the new VIN on them.
And that's when they got fucked.
Well, they
But-
got shut down.
but
They didn't go,
then-
nobody went to jail over that. The guy from Motorex went to jail, but it was for writing bad checks
Yeah.
and shit. It was unrelated to the actual Motorex.
But-
Every importer eventually got.
Well, shit. Remember Ripsu?
Ripsu.
Ripsu,
Yeah.
that's the guy. That's the first one I was going to bring up.
I mean,
Like
well,
that
Ripsu's
thing.
case was kind of crazy because first they kind of splashed the headlines when the red R34 Nerd that they were consigning was seized at a car show.
I remember that.
And everybody was freaking out that it was going to get crushed, but it wasn't crushed. They were basically seizing it to return it to its
The
actual
original
owner.
Yeah,
You know,
that-
the person that had originally consigned
And I
it.
think the dude got his money back. Finally, I think in like a lawsuit or something like that.
Yeah, but there was a whole
because
lawsuit
it
going
was
on.
one of those where it
think-
wasn't the guy that it got seized from's fault because he got it legally
scammed,
sold to
yeah.
him.
Yeah, Ripsu
And
was the
that-
one that was the problem. And then Ripsu again popped up in the headlines, at least on the automotive side, when they just,
They were holding a couple people's cars that they already paid for when they
But-
shut down.
yeah, but that was it. They were just like overnight, all of a sudden it was like, bam, phone shut off, email
Yeah, they
not
were
working.
gone. They literally just
left
dropped
the
building
state,
empty.
yeah,
It
left
was
the
like-
state and everything.
Well, that's always got to be such a sketchy process, especially when some people like go through and they buy them off a Japanese auction website.
See, and that was
sight unseen and
that was
everything.
what struck me odd at Rift. So if you look at like Dunkin' Import Classics or Japanese Classics, you know the really well known that you know these are legit companies that are doing it right.
You are
and
already
the ones that are
getting
in California.
in the States.
Those guys are the ones that go and buy their cars at auction.
And then bring them over
They
here.
ship them here, and they go through and do all the importation.
Yeah, it's not like you buy it and they're like, okay, the car's not even in the country yet.
Yeah, so when you buy a car from Japanese Classics, it's right now it's in Virginia. You see it on their website, it's in Virginia, and you can go buy it like a regular car.
Chris says that was Black Ops imports with the Red R34.
Yeah, but no, the Nura edition that got seized at the show, that was actually a Rivsu deal that had gone south.
I got some Black Ops stories for fun. If you ever
He was there.
All right, cool.
neat. If you ever have the time, just get like a Google of Black Ops performance, and like the guy that runs Black Ops performance. I'm not gonna name drop, but you can Google it.
Yeah.
He's had many different names across
Company names.
Oh, love those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, that's what I noticed anytime I looked at Rivsu stuff. It was like,
Yeah.
here, bid on this car using our.
Don't give us money, we'll bid for you.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
yeah, it was like you're putting money on a car that's not even in the U.S. yet. It's still in Japan on the auction.
And I remember I read this guy, it was on Reddit actually, but there was this whole story this guy wrote about buying 180SX off a Japanese import site. And he wanted to do everything himself.
Go ahead.
Ended up total costing about $18,000. The asking price for the car was only about $9,000. After he paid all the import fees and everything and all that.
And shipping.
And shipping, yep. When he got the car in, it looked nothing like any of the pictures. I think he said half the interior was missing. He wrote that. And in the pictures, it showed a complete stock base model 180SX. His did not have a C18 in it. It had a KA in it. And like it had already been registered. He had looked into it, had been registered in the U.S. before and sent back over. It was crazy. And then there was another one I read about a guy who bought a RX-7 Infiniti, and it was like the most perfect, beautiful, picturesque purchase he ever made. It's really scares me. Like some people would go and like throw out $15,000 to do a picture of a car in Japan. Just wait.
Well, hell, it's even just buying that shit like off of eBay. Like even cars already here buying that shit off of eBay. Like the one story that sticks in my mind is when I was a kid in Spring Hill, my neighbor across the street, her son ended up buying this was like 2002, like right when eBay was starting to be like a big thing and all that shit. Bought it was a 65 candy apple red white top, 289 Mustang. And that spent like $15,000, which then for those cars was actually a decent price in that.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be perfect, all that. Dot there, paint was in nice shape, interior was in nice shape. Didn't realize was it had about 30 pounds of Bondo, and the floor was held together with just the carpet inside the
Google
thing.
that guy.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of stories.
And that wasn't disclosed. It looked great. The carpet looked great, but as soon as you put your foot on the carpet, your foot went through the floorboards.
Because of Bondo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it's like, unless I'm fully able to fly wherever and see it myself, and then like.
And usually, even in eBay bid on a car, if you go and say I'm going to pick the car up, when you go and see it, I'm not giving you money.
Yeah, well, and that's where eBay has in the years has come around to where you have a certain time, like if it's not up to what the seller is describing it to be, you fully get your money. You can fully get your money back.
I want to go off into a slightly odd tangent that is kind of related, but not
us go into a tangent. Like that never happens.
Wait, we got topics.
You guys have all heard of 80/80, right?
Yeah.
80/80.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that the ones that always do the fucking raffles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah,
80/80 is a car apparel company. It sells a bunch of car apparel related shit. And
They've done like a
when you
Supra
buy
or
their,
something?
they usually have a raffle. And they're
What's the
giving away some kind of fucking insane car in like $20,000 to $30,000 cash. And all you got to do apparently is buy their stuff, and a dollar amount translated becomes raffle tickets.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that shit's actually real?
So,
Like I said, I haven't even heard
Yes
of it, so
and
I
no.
got no comment.
yes and no.
That's around
because,
that too.
Because me and my friends were looking at starting up a company like that, not like giving out NSXs and stuff, but like giving out like computer parts and stuff. And like the way it is legally, there's a bunch of legal loopholes they have to go through.
Yeah.
Like if you go onto the homepage, if it's a raffle, they have to give you an option to
Mail in.
to get a ticket for free.
Right.
And it's on the homepage.
There's no
but it's
purchase.
super hard to find.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
on there. You can get it for
Yeah,
free.
no purchase necessary.
No purchase necessary stuff. And then the cash, they only give you the cash because if you win a car,
You have
You
to
have to pay
tax.
you have
taxes
to pay taxes on it, and
It's
the
supposed
cash is to cover the tax.
taxes. Yeah, but I think
But
for a
that's
while.
that's like the big charity ones that you see on TV where they're giving away like a fully restored old car plus the
Well,
brand new
Yeah,
version.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
but
like that.
plus
Get the
$50,000.
Yeah.
68, GT 500 that's fully restored, plus the
Well,
2020
the-
GT
The
500.
thing is, though,
They do it a lot with like that Camaros. And,
You know,
You'll
raising
yeah.
money for like veterans charities or whatever.
Well-
but they're doing that nationwide, and there's usually
well,
like
that's the thing. This is supposedly worldwide.
yeah,
And for a while there, they actually, if you didn't know, which it seems like you know quite a little bit about this, on their home page is where all the information was for no purchase necessary, and they made it the same color as the background.
Yep.
You had to go and highlight the whole page to find it. Apparently, this one dude did it and sent in over 10,000 postcard entries, and never even got a response from the company. So I think, but like, see, that's the thing is like, if you win a car and you're in fucking Malaysia, you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna be
Yeah,
like, you can't fly here. That sucks for you.
It's tough, bud.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah,
it just
it's your
seems odd
responsibility.
that they give away so many of these ridiculously
Yeah.
expensively invested cars to people. And here's my thing, because we live in such a technology-ridden age with
it's
social
gotta
media.
be something with
You-
tax write-off
Well,
or something
But
like
you
that.
know these people, if they got one of those cars, if you won one, you'd be making fucking YouTube videos, posting shit on Facebook and everything.
yeah,
No
yeah.
one does.
Yeah.
No one does who wins these cars. And these like rocket money, fully built peripheral port RX-7s, 1,000 horsepower Supras, GTRs, and all kinds of shit. It's
whoever you were.
I don't know. I find it very odd that
I
they.
do, yeah. You do never see the car like pop up again.
Yeah.
At least on like social media.
And you really think you would.
Yeah.
It'd be like, 'cause I'd be all over that. I want a car from 8080. That's what makes me think that it's not 100%.
No, your post would be, I want a car from 8080, and I've actually posted it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. I would never.
See, like I know some people that have done some of the sweepstakes and everything, and have actually given the stuff away. But for them to do it on such a regular basis, that's what
Yeah.
seems so odd. I guess you'd say, because I can
It's
see them.
also like, if you think about it, that car, obviously, like a built R32, probably isn't a built R32. Like it's probably got like jank interior. Like then like they give you like the money shots and stuff,
Right.
but it's not.
Almost like
it's
Pimp Your
not
Ride,
a
like Pimp Your Ride.
$30,000 car.
Yeah, the
And then if
whole
you're thinking
underneath
of, like, a
of the
global
dash
company,
is nothing but that.
For them to spend $10,000 on a car and then market the car,
Oh yeah, they're
they
gonna.
make all their money back.
Oh,
Easy.
easily. Yeah.
So like
Especially
yeah,
on a global scale.
exactly
For sure.
on a global scale and stuff.
And they hype it up so much, but I don't know. It's just very intriguing.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't heard of it.
I'm not gonna buy a T-shirt to win a car.
No.
But
I mean, I bought a couple of their shirts and shit, but I didn't buy it while any contest was going. I saw one of the videos and I just went on the website, started looking, and I found some cool shit. But like,
that's cool.
I found like some RX-7 shit and stuff, and I was like, oh, hey, I'll buy some of that off there. But yeah, interesting though. I have known people that have done those giveaways though, and they can be very, very, very profitable.
I've seen like people are starting to like the people who have like clout, who have like social media followers and stuff.
Mhm.
Whenever they go to sell their cars, I've seen people raffle them instead of sell them.
Well,
Well,
that was the thing with
Yeah.
Matt Farah's Fox Body.
But Ferris Fox Body, most of that went to a charity.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
see, that's it. Like a regular like you. Like if you were to post this thing for sale, like if you wanted to get like I don't know 10 grand out of it,
Fuck yeah.
you're not going to get 10 grand out of it. But if you sell like $1,100 tickets
Yeah.
to win it, someone will get it for $100 and you'll make 10 grand.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's like the Orion and Chow from Haggard Garage. They did that giveaway on the Genesis they had with the trailer and the
Totally great.
and it was the van that said Mint on it. But anyway, they raffled that, and I think Orion said they ended up making $90-something thousand, and ended up paying for everything, and they still had a bunch of money left over after raffling it.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff makes sense, but like I said, just doing it on such a frequent basis just seems odd, and totally not even related to anything that really matters of any importance. But that's what we
It
do.
was car related.
That is what we do.
It
So.
was car related.
What we need to do is we need to get with Orly. We need to get a car imported, and we just need to.
And I still find it funny that house houses another YouTuber who just committed blasphemy last week. They put an LS in an RX-7. I know.
Which
Brett
one
and Russ
is
a
it?
few weeks ago were down at All in Performance, which is down there in Clearwater, kind of like one building over the Legacy shop. Brett sends me a picture of a Unos Cosmo.
Oh
With an
yeah,
LS
yeah.
with an LS in it.
I know another guy that's doing the same thing.
Well, the guy has the original. He sent it to me too. He's got the original motor. It's still sitting in storage. He just wanted something a little bit more reliable.
Hey,
But then what he said was, when I go to sell a car, he's like, I'm going to pull that motor and put the stock motor back into it.
well, and you know,
Fair enough.
looking at
He
it,
didn't have to cut up anything in the engine bay, so I mean,
well, looking at it
Those
from
are
that,
fairly big cars.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
for
are.
Mazda at the time, that was like the big
They're really big
luxury
yeah.
cruiser coupe car.
yeah,
Well,
and
what's funny about that is those cars came out, what, 87?
if you had that car, you were definitely
If
doing
you
coke
take-
off the mirror.
If you take the dash and center stack of that car, marking.
Yep.
I had a 95, and yeah, as soon as I saw the first picture of a Cosmo, I was like, "Oh fuck!" Now I know.
See, the
where-
thing is, I had seen Cosmos way before I ever saw the inside of a Marquette. And then one day, when I used to work at the shop, a guy came in for an oil change with a Marquette on a Saturday, and I looked and I was like, "What?"
It's a freaking Cosmo. Like, wait a minute.
But it's a Cosmo.
I was like, "Fuck."
But it's so weird. It's not even like
I took a
it's
picture
kind-
of the
it is
interior, like with like the
exactly-
selfie camera,
Yeah, and then mirrored it,
and
and
then I
like,
posted it in a car group, and I was like, "Yo, check out this Cosmo. It's coming to came for an oil change." And then like with the Lincoln badge.
Yeah.
It took a good 30 comments deep before someone was like, "Wait a minute."
wait a minute, that's
Yeah. But that's the thing. That is a full Cosmo.
Yeah,
That it
Yeah,
is.
the
like I said-
exterior is like the same shape.
Yeah.
yeah. Like I said, you take that dash and you flip it 100, you mirror it 180 degrees, and I was like, "Holy crap! That's a Gen 1 Mark
Yeah.
Mark 8 dash."
Yep.
And I had one, so
Fun fact about that Cosmo: it was the first car to ever have GPS.
I know.
Mhm.
I mean, Duncan Import Classics has like 3 or 4 of them for sale, but none of them are like the top level with all those outfits. Just got the regular head units and the regular AC. They don't have.
It's
Yeah, there
it's
were
funny
some
how
of
much a
those-
3-rotor sell for. A used 3-rotor
yeah.
and transmission, you can buy a whole Unos Cosmo for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're selling. They've got cars for about a little less than 15 grand.
Well, if they're I wonder if they're REWs or if they're 20Bs. Didn't some of them come with REWs?
I thought they were all 20 Bs.
I think some of them came
No,
with
so you can get them. You
Okay.
can get them 13B turbo,
Yeah. Or you can get
13B N8, or no, there was like a higher output 13B turbo, and the 20B.
I thought all the Unos cars were because that was like their luxury flagship brand.
it was specifically the higher output was the REW that came in it specifically. But yeah, I just saw one the other day. Somebody's got one. They got 15 grand for it with the transmission.
Was it a 13B car?
No. Just the 20.
Oh, okay.
Just
There was
just a 20.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Because there was my buddy had a Unos Cosmo. He was selling it for like $9, but it was a 13B car. So
Oh, I saw that clapped out 929 on the way here.
It's for sale, $1,500.
I know he want when I got drunk and
Mazda
maybe
929?
it's an 80 or
88, I
or
think.
89 Mazda 929. It's slammed.
It's
got-
like
it's-
that tealish blue.
Yeah, and it's got like bright teal panels. It's got an oil cooler hanging off the front bumper with wide wheels and like the
But
Rocket
the
Bunny style
interior-
and
but-
everything.
That one that came out
Honda
to-
Taurus style.
Yeah.
It's like Octoberfest. Yeah, he
But-
wanted to. He
But
wants
that
to trade
thing
me
is
from a truck.
actually really clean inside. The interior is really fucking nice.
The exterior is gonna
It
be.
really is.
but- Yeah, he wants my truck. He said he'd trade me straight up, and I was like, I don't want to clap that 19 automatic.
Now, speaking of
19.
your truck, that super clean square body that I said I saw up here at Inverness, I have not seen that one since.
It's probably gone. I'd love to have one of those 1900s and rotary swap them though, because in the JDM variant, which was Cosmo and the Loose, they had it was almost like a 929, but it was a rotary sedan. Pretty awesome.
There's a Loose here.
My buddy that I can't remember, I get him and his brother confused.
Chad and Scott.
Chad, yeah, I get Chad and Scott confused. I've known them for a very long time.
What kind?
Loose. Mazda.
Loose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a white one. Very pretty.
Well, hell, we got that Pulsar, that GTI.
GTI R.
Yeah,
GTI. That's a pretty cool car.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It comes out to RV.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's
Oh yeah,
sweet.
like I said, as soon as I laid eyes on it, I was like, check this shit out.
People don't realize we actually got a pretty decent car seat
Because it's
Yeah.
one
of weird
it's,
shit.
it's developing
We
now.
get
It is all weird
weird
shit.
shit.
Well, we covered this before.
Like in a good way. Like you get some weird fucking shit up here. Like you'll have Orly who brings out some fucking
Oh,
Yeah.
like all of a
Save
sudden
your beer, my people.
you'll have Orly pull out, a fucking Evo 5, and you're like, where the fuck you pulling the Evo 5 out? 2 days later, he's got an R34. Where the
Well,
fuck
and
you
then you
pulling
get
an
Nick out
R34
with a Galant VR4, then you get that out there. And
Yeah, well, Galant VR4 was legal and sold here in the US. The R30,
Still a cool
the
car.
R30,
Was it really?
The GT2.
Yeah.
One of
Nick,
our friends
friend,
has got
yeah,
one.
friend Nick, the one that had that was telling you about the
Super clean SI.
well, he had
You got the rotary
the
truck,
B22
too.
rotary
Yeah,
in that.
he's got an
He also had it was a 2000 actual EM1 SI.
no, yeah, SI.
And electron blue. Beautiful fucking car.
He
I
did
did
I drove the shit out of that car.
He did a detailed job on it, and like a week later, I saw it out on the roads, and he cleaned that thing up
The
really
interior
They
nice.
ended
fucking
up-
cleaned up
They
amazingly.
ended up
He went to
trading that for the
IFO
VR4.
like 2 days
Did
later.
he win
and
something? He won a prize?
No, but the amount of he didn't actually enter into the show. He was just parked in an area, but the amount of people that kept on circling this thing and going, dude, this thing, like your
It
interior
was
and
really
everything.
cherry.
He just
Really
kept
was.
on constantly texting me. He's like, dude, that was a great $50 I spent. I'm like, dude, you killed my fucking shop back with me, fucking doing that.
And
But
he's
yeah,
got
no,
that
he
for-
traded that for
Yeah, like
a
4 or 5 years ago, we're hanging out. We're up at the cruising up there at Wendy's in Crystal River, and one of our friends rolls up in a R34.
Orly, the one that you
GT25.
saw that R32
Yeah.
GTR and that.
Yeah, he rolled up in an R34 GT25.
Yeah. Never asked him where he gets shit. That was also 3 weeks before that. He had an Evo 5 GSR. You don't ask Orly where he gets shit from.
Got the bra on it, too.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
You got Gilbert.
Oh yeah,
It
Gilbert's
is
he's
with
got the
a GTST.
GTST. Yeah. Then
Got that one old guy with that Nissan Power. I ran into him.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen him.
Speaking of old guys and Nissans, I've had a thing. Like I said, I'm the old guy here.
Oh,
so I've had a thing.
that burnt orange one.
No, I've had a
Oh.
thing for R32 GTRs since they were new. I was a senior in high school
Whoa.
when I read about them.
When you read about
When I read about them, they were still
Oh, yeah,
new.
no,
they were
he's
like on the market
old.
like 2 years
Okay.
old. They were like 2 years old on the market when I first read about them. And I'm thinking, compared to the F bodies and the Fox bodies that are out in the parking lot and anything else that's out in the parking lot in high school right now, this thing would destroy them all. I don't care if the steering wheel's on that side of the car. This thing's freaking rad, and I fucking want one. I still do, but now I can't drive one because too many pedals and not enough feet. But Wednesday, coming through Denellen, traffic breaks in front of me, and I see gray R32 GTR. I see the spoiler.
Oh.
At first I'm thinking it was probably the car that's been in Ocala forever, that's
Right.
big in Japan on the license plate.
It must be Mike Epler, I think.
No, well, like I said, I get up onto it, and it's a different license plate, so then I roll around to the right side of it, passing on the right. I look over and see a guy in his 70s, my dad's age, rocking a bone stock, super clean R32 GTR.
Goals.
I was gotta say, I'm slightly jealous and also seriously impressed.
Yeah.
Totally not the demographic for that car.
Well, now that we're about over an hour of our incredibly, terribly planned show, you got to bring a trailer car that you said was a bring a trailer car.
I
got
Well,
I'm not
while
mistaken.
he's looking that up really quick, I want to speaking of old people in awesome cars, can we talk about that guy with the Turbo 2 that's in Beverly Hills?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I love that guy. He's awesome. I met him twice so far.
I haven't met him, but a couple of years now. Coming back from with folks, I was coming back from Crystal River, and I see a little red blob pull out of Pine Ridge Boulevard and head east on 486. And I'm like, that looks like an FC. So as I'm catching up to it, I see the horseshoe spoiler. Yeah, I'm like, is that a Turbo 2? And as I roll up on it, I see the Turbo 2, I see all the decals, the spoiler, the hood scoop, and I'm like, holy crap, that's a Turbo 2. There's no oil or apex seals coming out of it. There's no smoke coming out of it. It's dead stock. It looks like a brand new car.
It's mint.
It is absolutely. The only thing that's changed on it is he's got chrome extensions on the tailpipes to keep from staining up the back bumper. And it was some 50 to 60-year-old black dude driving this FC Turbo 2
constantly.
And
It's
like I
not
said,
like a weekend warrior, middle of the day.
I've seen
rain,
it a lot. But like I said, it was the first time that I've seen this car. I kind of rolled by it, and Dad's like, wondering why I'm so excited about this car. I'm like, that's like finding a unicorn right there. Even Dad kind of got the idea that, wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, my dad gave the guy a thumbs up. And my dad's not a car guy at all.
He's an
It was
airplane guy,
hilarious.
not a car guy.
But I got my new washer and dryer. The guys that were loading it up and putting it in my garage and shit, I had to push the FC out and everything. The guy's looking at the 13B on the floor, and he's like, "What is this thing?" And I was like, "It's an engine." And he goes, "What kind?" I said, "It's a rotary." And he goes, "The hell's a rotary?"
It's a wankle, you wanker.
And I'm trying to explain it to him, and he's like, "Yeah, it don't make sense."
They don't make sense, but they work. You're wonderful.
I was like, "You can grab the flywheel and like turn the motor over." What? Like, yeah, look.
That's why when you park, even in gear, you make sure it is up against a curve, but the wheels
turned
the
in,
opposite. Yeah,
And the parking brake set.
because you can. It's not like that to where I don't have to set a parking brake and it won't
Oh
move
no!
anywhere. You can literally
the car will
just
roll down
push
the
it.
hill. There's
The
no.
next thing you know, it's starting
Yeah, it's
going down the road.
You can grab the flywheel and just fucking spin that bitch through the
You
compressor.
can grab the fan belt and turn one of those things on.
Yeah, if you honestly, if you turn your
yes.
key to the on position,
That's
you can
how
probably.
we do it. Whenever we had hers broken down all the time, we didn't want the apex seal to like corrode and like seize up on the housing.
Yeah.
So every once in a while we'd walk by it, pop the hood, and just grab the fan, or
Yeah,
grab
just
the
turn it.
alternator, but just. Yep, that's good. It's got compression.
Oh, sweet dear Mary, Jesus, and Joseph! I saw the car.
Okay, I don't know if you know this. We usually kind of at the end of the thing, I find a car on Bring a Trailer and ask these guys what they think it's sold for.
Basically, the price is right of cars.
So,
I'll hold this for
And
that.
this is also
You can-
one of his favorite cars.
Oh
So.
my fucking sweet.
Dude, that thing's fucking beautiful.
there's
Yeah.
Oh, he got it. He got it.
there's pictures.
Is that like 78, 77?
No,
Okay.
that's 71.
71?
What we have here is a turbocharged 1977 Nissan Skyline GT2000 GTR clone. This car is showing 73,000 kilometers, total mileage unknown. It has a turbocharged L28T engine for a 280ZX turbo.
Okay.
5-speed manual transmission. It's been repainted at some point. It has
So it's slightly like the double Z.
It's
got
kinda
the
is like
right
the double Z.
wheels, the right flares, the
14,
right mirrors.
It's got 14-inch Watanabes. Now, this is not an actual GTR.
No.
It's clearly stated
And
that it
it's-
is a GTR
and
tribute or clone
that
or
doesn't
whatever.
even have an original engine in it, too.
No.
It's got the heartbeat of the double Z in it. Okay.
Bodywork was reportedly refinished in silver prior to importation around 2007. Seller notes evidence of red paint in areas where paint is worn through. Fender-mounted mirrors, fender flares, other GTR starter modifications.
Can you show the car to the camera?
Yes,
Chris
but I
Nichols?
will like to say this before we continue any further. Yes, it does have an aftermarket head unit, but that is an aftermarket cassette deck.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah!
this thing's old school.
Here, show it up there.
I haven't finished.
Oh no, when
loading
you're
yet.
done. When you're done.
Might
show
push
it to
the
everyone.
car and show it to the world.
And Chris Williams, Chris says 12.4.
Oh, it comes with all the extra parts too.
That is, it actually comes with a brushed metal GTR dash and
Yeah.
the red
Yeah.
GTR emblem for the GT, and that's the trunk floor.
It's not bad.
14-inch RS Watanabe R-type wheels, Watanabe center caps and lug nuts, Yokohama Avon tires.
I want those wheels on my car.
Modifications include custom front coilovers with chain adjustable camber plates along with lowering springs in the rear. Stellar notes of vibration.
Come closer.
Stellar notes of
Closer.
vibration at speeds over 75 miles an hour.
A little bit closer.
Yes.
Now cycle through the pictures.
While my first Skyline love is an R32, and I would also love to have a Koska, I would
Put it
love
on
to have a
the
Ken Mary.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
a Ken Mary car would be more than welcome in my garage.
Now, my thing is because it's not an actual turbo and everything, then it probably didn't sell for as much as I'm thinking, but still the attainability and coolness and awesomeness. I'm going to go towards Chris's number. I'm going to say, Chris is revising at 24.
24.4?
I was going to say 17.5.
I'm going to say 35.
Okay,
35?
the 5-digit mechanical odometer shows just over 73,000 kilometers, 2,000 of which have been added by the seller over the past 2 years. Seller notes that the water temperature and boost gauges are not working. Factory clock is also present, and other equipment includes power mirrors, a heater and defroster, and manually operated windows.
Those are power mirrors?
Yeah.
Cool.
Per the
Power
seller,
fender
the
mounted.
2.8-liter L28 ET straight 6 from 280ZX turbo was installed in place of the original L20 after the car was imported in 2009. The factory turbocharged engine features electronic fuel injection, rated at 180 horsepower, that's what my naturally aspirated L28 was 180 horsepower.
I'm saying 17.5.
Aftermarket strut tower brace. Dawson factory repair manual for the HGC 110 is included, as well as a 280ZX manual that includes details on the engine. The various spare parts accompanying the sale include a GTR-style brushed stainless dashboard, center console trim, along with spare badges, ignition switch, reflectors, gas cover, and more.
All right,
There's video
so
of the car, and there's a whole bunch of pictures of it.
clutch shift go, Chris says 30. Chris Williams says 24. You said what, 35?
35.
I'm saying 17.5.
What did they say?
24 and 30.
20, 24, 30, 35, 17.
Mitsui Eclipse is 30K.
Yeah.
26.
26. What do we got?
46 grand.
Damn! Hey.
We're closest.
Hey.
Let's bring a trailer. That thing is
46.
hyped up on price already.
Damn.
Well, I think it's just following a whole trend. I mean, there was another one of these cars that sold a month or so ago.
there was one that didn't sell, too.
Well,
Well,
the one that didn't sell. It was bid up to 26,000.
And that one was fucking. Oh, that one was melting.
Yeah.
Did you see? Well, tell them about the what was it? The 260? Was it 260 or the 240?
Oh, the Heritage car?
The 240.
Well,
Oh my
no, the
God.
white one. Remember the white one that had the full rotisserie restoration?
Okay,
that was
so-
the most expensive one.
The Heritage
It
car.
was the Heritage.
Yeah.
Heritage, the green
That
Heritage
one was,
car.
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
That was six
So
figures,
one of the
wasn't
cars from my past was an S30Z, a 75.5 280Z with an L28 fuel injection. I would really love to have another one. So there's been a bunch of them show up on Bring a Trailer, and every now and then there's ones that surprise you. One of the ones that showed up was a 20-year-old restoration that was out of Texas. It sold for
It was like
38.
I thought it was either 38 or 48.
It's 38.
Okay, that was that white one, right?
That was the orange one. And then there was a white one. There was a white one that was like a 1-year-old restoration. That was a full-on bare body shell, absolute rotisserie type, every nut and bolt proper, and it was done. And that one sold for 48. And then there was one that I remember reading about in the mid '90s when I had all of this happen. Nissan actually bought a handful. It was around between 35 and 40. 240Zs, and they sent them to Pierre's Z Shopping Center, California, and they used all NOS parts and did full ground-up restorations on these cars, and they were sold to Nissan dealerships through their Heritage program. It was one of those cars that was kind of like a unicorn. Read about them and seen pictures of them, but had never
seen them.
but never saw them since. Like the last mention I'd heard of those was in the mid '90s when they were doing the program that I read about, like Car and Driver Road Track or something like that. Well, a couple months ago, one of those cars came up for auctions. It was a 72 240 with 70,000 miles on it that had gone through Pierre's. Nissan Heritage had all the paperwork saying it was one of those approximate 37 cars. $68,600 for that thing.
And the thing was better than showroom.
But it was one of those cars. They literally tore it completely down and rebuilt it back.
It was basically a brand new
to
240.
exact factory specifications, and every piece that went on the car was an NOS Nissan part.
Basically brand new.
But they started with a rust-free, super clean,
California car.
Southwestern, sourced car to start with. But
Yeah.
still, I mean, it was repainted in the factory color. It was done exactly like the car was built.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like with the factory, things that you read about, but you never, you barely see. That's like with with the original Twister specials, on the 70 Mach 1s and that, they built more of those. There was like 2,000 whatever those done. But like the Twister 2s on the 85 Foxfire it was out of the same spot in Kansas and that.
Yeah.
They only did like 600 of them in that. There is one in Chris River is now in the paint and body booth that I talked about at the show. But those, you don't fucking see them. There's only the two colors.
Or there's weird color cars like the 84 SBO in non-metallic pine green.
Yep.
One.
Also, you got with the Foxbays are very weird. With there's actually, if you look into it, there is a really special thing with some of them. The sand beige. I think it's L7. I can't remember the color code. It's sand beige. In 83 to 84, there was only 23 cars made in that. Only a certain number were hatches, and a very other number were convertibles. There was no coupes made that color. But yet you go to 89, they did, I think it was about 28. It was the same number, but just coupes done in that. And you get that.
They do. Every now and then the manufacturers just make this weird thing.
886 the Jade Green LX 5-liter coupes and that. There was 48 of those made in that color. Holy fuck, that is an awesome color. I mean, it is nice. It is nice.
But anyway, thank you guys for joining. We're all wrapped up for the night.
Sorry, we rambled.
Thanks, Angel, for sitting in.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Check out his website.
Yeah. We need to throw that in the description. Promote
Go
yourself.
ahead.
Promote yourself.
Yeah, promote yourself.
I do vinyls, decals, apparel of the lot. I also do some custom stuff, but you'll have to email me directly for that. I have an Instagram. I do dirty work. Dirty work is work is with an E instead of an O.
Well, we'll throw it there.
we'll
We'll put it down there in the description there.
Go on there, check it out, give me a like, and buy some stickers.
And so you did this decals on her RX-7, right?
For RX-7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's super awesome.
Full Kirby livery.
And you did it on your Miata too, right?
Yeah.
That was an Astro Boy livery.
Yeah, I was going to say you got Astro Boy
Yeah.
on there.
I
But
can do big stuff, small stuff.
It's pretty awesome.
That's fucking
It's good
awesome.
to- it's
Because every
good to
time I
know,
see that
too.
shit, I'm like, that just makes me happy. Like,
But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back in a couple weeks
We'll be back. Yeah,
for Halloween.
We'll be back on the 25th.
Maybe we'll be dressed up.
day
Who knows?
before Halloween party, too.
That is true.
Might have a Midget Jesus appearance.
Might have it. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good
See you
night,
guys
everyone.
later.
Cheers.
So I really need